No, I'll cut it out. It's fine.
Hi,
Maybe.
Alan Baker.
Maybe he'll cut it out.
You better cut it out.
You cut it out.
You cut it out. What is that in the background? Where are you?
You talking to me?
Why is there a stove by the filing cabinet?
You're wait a minute, you're talking to a man that works himself to the bone. He don't even get up to make meals. He just does this in his chair.
Throws it in the back.
Rolls over, fixes it, and then rolls back. It does work.
That's what I used to bake my knife handles in.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I still had the little jigs in the bottom of it that I would put all the blades in, and the ones that had the rubber handles, it was heat shrink. So I had little templates, and I'd put them in there and bake them for 20 minutes, and they would shrink right up. Shrinky dinks.
How come I've never seen any of this stuff before?
I'll
give
you a podcast. That's right.
Well, come on. How long have we been trying to get this done?
Alan, you look like you have extra long gibbon arms today.
I know, they're huge.
What in the world? I think they're longer than they were the last time I saw you.
I had them stretched.
Oh my God. You've been training a lot.
Hey guys, if you can't tell, we're giddy. Tonya Paulson's on the podcast with us.
It's the Tonya Paulson Smash
I didn't know we were recording.
We are.
This is the best stuff.
No, delete.
This is an extremely special day.
This is so good.
I didn't know we were recording.
Oh, man, this is great.
We have the queen.
Nix the gibbon arm comment. Nix it.
No, it's staying in. We have the queen with us today.
So funny. I didn't know we were on the air live.
All right,
I shouldn't have said anything.
Take a deep breath. We're on the air live.
Sort of live.
There we go. All right.
Full disclosure, our podcasts are edited in case somebody says something really crazy.
We might. I don't know. Oh my God.
What's going on, Tonya Paulson?
Well, I've had a busy morning. I've been getting ready for tonight. We're doing a water balloon thing for the kiddos tonight for the kids class. So I've been trying to get ready all morning for that.
A water balloon thing in the gym?
Or I'm wearing a poncho.
In the gym or outside?
They're going to attack me. It's their one chance.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we're going to go out back and outside of the gym, and they have full reign to do whatever they want with like 500 water balloons.
What could go wrong?
No,
well,
nothing.
mostly they're going to attack me because I make them sit still. So
I must have missed my invitation for this.
I know.
Yeah, because I don't want to get a bully beat down from the two of you because I always yell. Do this, do that, do this.
Wait a minute. You don't raise your voice, do you?
Never. I'm sweet.
People don't get to see the real phone calls.
Hey, don't tell people. Well, my image to be pristine.
Yeah. You can't run a thing like this without screaming once in a while.
It's mostly Alan that does the screaming, I hope.
Actually, we listen to the screaming.
I never yell. Maybe at Eric, but never at anybody else.
All right.
And Alan, every once in a while.
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh. So that's what I've been doing. I've been ordering stuff from Rev Gear this morning, and I was actually trying to look at some of my things I want to do with the curriculum. So I've been looking at that this morning. Oops, sorry.
That would be Jiggy. Jiggy making a guest appearance.
Jiggy. Sees a dog. So I've been doing that this morning. I've just been making little notes for myself, and I have a couple of meetings later today. I'm sorry, you guys. All gone.
This is what you usually do when you're in the background to Eric with Jiggy.
I'm sorry. What people don't realize is that we're both crazy.
They realize it.
It's chaos 24/7 in the Paulson household.
I think we all are. You got to be crazy to do this.
A little stir crazy.
So you've been working on the curriculum.
Yeah, I've just been trying to like clean a few things up because we're going to start doing some testing at the school and do it a little bit differently because there's a lot of information, and I'm trying to kind of size it down to make it easier for students to test through the curriculum. So I've been talking to you guys, as you know, about that. So I've been trying to do a couple of things to work on it and make it cleaner, just myself for my notes, because I'm trying to become more involved in the classes at the school. And for a few years, I stepped back. I wasn't doing a lot of training in the school, and I had an injury that kept me from doing a lot of the CSW classes and the catch wrestling stuff that Eric does. So I did a lot of just the striking and the stand-up for a while. But now that I'm looking at everything and I'm back involved in the classes and doing the jiu-jitsu and training a little bit more, I see a need for, like, just for student base and their population to test and realize what the curriculum is and make it a little bit easier for the students to understand. So I'm just trying to help you guys along for the breakdown so that I can make notes myself. So that's what I've been doing this morning, and placing orders with Rev Gear, getting the kids party thing ready, and getting ready for Rev Gear University that's coming up, which is going to be awesome with Eric. So I've been doing that, and then our CDP. So I've been trying to get things done at the school, make sure we have a ton of stuff, make sure we have things ready for the affiliates, and try to stay normal. So you guys think I'm not doing anything and I'm sitting around watching TV?
When have we ever said that?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever said that.
Didn't hear that from me.
Alan does a lot. He makes fun of me that I'm at the gym. Because every time I talk to him, I'm going somewhere, and usually it's the gym for myself.
That's usually the phone call I get too. I'm on my way to something.
Both of you, be nice to me. That's because I'm always doing something. You guys know that.
So for the Rev Gear topic, how are we doing on those Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gis? Are we closer to having those?
We are. I just talked to Paul about that a couple of days ago, and he's in the process of making everything a little bit better. Eric likes the stitching on the gis better than he likes like a patch, just for the association people that are with the jiu-jitsu program, because that's obviously one of our biggest programs and right now, and he it's growing so fast we're playing catch up. So sure. I'm just trying to make sure that I get everything, but he's making them, we're testing them. I gave Coach Ben one of them to try, so he wears it to class, tries to rip it to shreds, because I want it to be good quality. So he patched it up, and it's holding up pretty good. So I think he's worn it quite a few times. So I think that it's gonna be a good product for us for the association. I've been trying to do as much as I can myself to be in classes. Sometimes I get crazy busy up front at the front desk, and I can't be in class as much. But Ben's wearing them, making sure that. What are you laughing at, Alan? Are you laughing at me?
I didn't say a word.
He has two monitors. He's probably reading something completely different.
Yeah, there was a joke.
I better not be the joke.
No.
Don't forget, I can see you on Sunday. You're coming out here, right?
You're going out for Guru's camp, right?
Are you coming to train? I need a partner.
I know. I'm going to try. I'm going to do my best. I feel that's one of the things that I feel guilty about is that
I'm going in October.
Well, I keep saying that I'm going to be there, but sometimes I can't be. So, because I have a lot to do. And you know that Mr. Paulson is a full-time job.
Oh, yeah.
So
he's his own industry.
Sometimes my training with Guru isn't what it should be. And I feel guilty about that. I was also thinking about that this morning while I was writing out my notes for my curriculum stuff for CSW. I definitely have stepped away from training with Guru as much as I would like to. And I used to train with him 3 or 4 hours a day when I first moved out here.
Oh, you lucky dog.
Yeah. So, and I am lucky. I mean, I know a lot of people, that's their dream and their opportunity. Are you laughing at me again, Alan?
I'm not. I would, since you're on the subject, I'd like to hear more about your time at the Amazon Academy. Not many people know the stuff you've done. that you're an instructor under Guru Dan?
I guarantee people don't know that.
Yeah. And so, you know, tell me about it. Tell me about when you first came out.
First, there can only be one star usually in a relationship. And my husband is the star. So I take background. I just sit in the background and I make sure everything works. And when there's an opportunity to say something or somebody asks me, I tell them, but it's not something that I talk about often. But that's how I met Eric. I trained with Guru first. When I was in college, I did judo. Yes, I did. And a little bit of Wing Chun. And I started looking in Black Belt magazine. You remember when there was a lot of there was Kathy Long, there was a couple of other ladies that were in Black Belt magazine, and there were no women training at the time, you know, not people that I knew. I was in Kentucky. And so there's not a lot of people that I got to train with, females. And so I was always looking at those. And anytime I go to the grocery store, anytime I was out anywhere and I'd see something, I'd grab it. And I trained in judo and a little bit of Wing Chun. And then somehow I heard about Sifu Fong. I heard about and so I started picking up the magazine and looking through it. And Guru Dan at the time, Guru had listings of all of his seminars all over. Do you guys remember that?
Yep.
There was in the back of the magazine, there was listings.
Yep.
And everybody knows who Bruce Lee is and the training. And I started going to these seminars. I pick Guru Dan is from Bruce Lee, so I had to go see him. And don't laugh at me, Bob. You and your yellow suit. Don't laugh.
Everybody did that. Yes. I had the tracksuit, and I also had the frog button suit.
That's funny. But one of my first seminars with Guru was at Don Guerin's Academy.
Perfect. What year?
That was probably 1990 something. It was in the 90s, 95.
I must have been there. Why don't I know that?
I don't know. Maybe because I look different then.
I went up there all the time during that time.
I went to Don Guerin's. It was the place that had the water, the bridge behind it or something.
That was his old school, yeah.
Okay, that's where I went. So I went there, and I started training. And Guru complimented me. He never called me by the right name for 10 years. But when he did, I was so happy. But I went there and trained, and I would just drive myself around. But the place that I met everybody, that's when I met Master Chai, when I met Eric, and Levon Martin. I met Levon there. It was when they were all doing I don't know if it was a instructor or something. I don't know. It was something where Master Chai was there. It's at the old place. I think it was Gwinnett Mall or something was right next to Super Fong's place.
Yep.
So we drove there, and we took a bunch of students. We went to train, and I drove the entire way to go there. In my car, all the students in the car with me, and we got there early, and I saw Eric doing a private lesson. And I had done judo and other stuff, at Wing Chun and kickboxing, and I didn't know what he was doing, and he was still the scary. I was
back then he was scaric.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And I thought, oh. I thought Master Chai was scary too.
Oh yeah.
I had never.
I'm still scared of him.
I had never. Yeah, no doubt. But I went there to train with Guru. And it was going to be my first time training with Master Chai. And so we went in and did a bunch of stuff, and we did some Kali and stuff with Guru. And then we took a break, and that's when I saw Levon. And Eric was kind of there too, but I didn't notice. And, it was just all the instructors there, and there were a lot of people, and it was, you're mesmerized by all the stuff that's going on. And my main focus was training with Guru. And then there's this lady, Levon, who was kick-ass. And I was like, I can't believe there's finally there's a woman, that knows all the stuff. And so I went up and asked her after the seminar. I'll never forget this. It's so funny. and I don't know if you're going to edit this out or not.
Oh, no way. Nothing about LaVon gets edited.
Okay, so I go up to her and I said, ma'am, can I please have a picture with you? And she goes, with me? And I go, yeah. I go, I can't believe, like, you're amazing. And she's like, okay, hon.
That's a pretty good LaVon.
Yeah.
She like pushed me good. She's like, okay. So I took a picture with her. And after we got the picture developed, it's funny because all the guys thought she was awesome. And like, you know, this is a hot chick doing all this stuff. And so in the picture, there's me and LaVon, and there's like, I don't know who the guy is. And I don't want to get anybody in trouble. I don't remember. He's staring at her butt.
Tell me, please, that you have that picture somewhere.
I have it. I totally have it, but I don't want to get anybody in trouble. I showed it to LaVon.
Send me that picture. I want to rat out whoever that is. I'm gonna rat him out.
Literally, it's only me and LaVon, and there's a mirror in the background. Like, you know how his wall was mirrored behind there?
Yeah.
And there's a guy like looking around, and he's looking directly at her butt. And because LaVon were these
guarantee we can find out who that was. I guarantee.
I don't want to get anybody in trouble. Who knows?
So, okay, now you're with LaVon. Now let's how do we get to Eric?
Okay, so many years later, I was first of all, I was teaching kickboxing, and one of the girls that I was teaching was in a Hawaiian Tropics contest. Now, mind you, I'm training all the time. I'm training all of guru stuff. I'm training in kickboxing now because I've now met Master Chai. I know about Thai boxing now. So I started training and doing all this stuff. And I was not in great shape. You know, I was heavier through college. And
you were a model.
But that's much later.
Okay.
So I started kickboxing and tried to really start focusing on Thai boxing and stuff and running. I started running to lose weight. And eventually I got to lead the warm-ups in the class, you know, because there weren't very many women. And I loved leading the class and getting all the guys to fall. So I would I'd lead the warm-ups, do all the stuff to get ready for the instructor to come out on the floor. And there was a girl in a Hawaiian Tropics contest, and she had come to the classes to start getting in shape for her things that she was doing, because she was like part of like all these modeling things. And so I started training her, and we kind of got in shape together. And then she went on to do one of the things that she did a bunch of these contests, and then she got into some fitness modeling stuff. And so that's how all of it kind of started happening, because while I was there with her, she asked me to go with her because she was nervous to go to this photo shoot. She asked me to go so that I could be with her because she was nervous. And I went, and they took one picture of me while I was there, and it ended up in Muscle Mag. And the owner of the magazine apparently had called a gazillion people in Kentucky to try to get my information, and they hadn't taken any kind of waivers or anything for me, so I didn't have any information. So they were trying to contact the girl that I was training to get in touch with me. And he finally, the magazine came out, and I was at I don't know, I was at Walmart or something, getting stuff, and I saw the magazine. I thought, oh, my friend might be in there. I'm going to look. And my picture was in there. But I was like, I think this is the wrong name on the bottom. So I called, never in a million years thinking that, like, I'm a little country bumpkin from Kentucky. Like, I have no idea that who I'm talking to. And they said, ma'am, they go, can you hang on just a second? And because I called a number in Canada that was in the front of the magazine. And they said, can you hang on just a minute? We have somebody that needs to talk to you. Because I said, the name is all wrong. And, you know, I didn't know who I was talking to. I didn't realize that I was calling the headquarters in Canada, and that I was being put through to Robert Kennedy, the owner of Muscle Mag.
No kidding.
No clue. And he said, you know, I've been trying to get in touch with you. I've called 25 names in the state of Kentucky, and I can't believe you called me. He goes, I want to fly you out to California. And my thought was, I get to travel with Guru Dada. It's a free trip. But so he flew me out to California. I was out here for like 6 days. And then I started doing all of these. Honestly, I can't remember the name of the photographer right now, but I got the cover of Muscle Mag. I started doing the Arnold Classic. I went with Bob. His name's Bob Kennedy, Robert Kennedy. And then from all of that, from doing the Arnold Classic, from doing, and I didn't compete in the Arnold Classic. I was in a booth there with Muscle Mag. I was one of the girls that was signing autograph pictures and all that stuff because I was on the cover of Muscle Mag. And the way it coincided, I think Arnold Classic is in like February or March, and I don't keep up with that stuff anymore, but because that life is long gone. But I ended up, I think that when the Arnold Classic was, my cover came out right after that. So I was signing all these, pictures and all of that stuff. And from that, I got a job with Muscle Tech. And so I was a contracted athlete for a few years with Muscle Tech, just doing photo shoots and stuff for the magazine and Hydroxycut, if anybody remembers that.
Me too.
So I was a contracted athlete for a few years, and during that whole time, my life changed a lot, and I ended up leaving Kentucky and moving to California. And so I worked with Muscle Tech for a few more years, and my big thing was when I moved out to California, I didn't really know anybody, and the closest thing that I had to family was the Inasano Academy and training with Guru, because I needed to find some balance, because for fitness stuff, I was still like fish out of water. I didn't know anything. I didn't know how to handle myself. And like, I didn't have an agent, I just had Bob guiding me the whole way, telling me what I needed to do and, show up on time, be responsible, stay in shape, just basic things that you have to do when you're going to be in a public eye. And I had 3 photo shoots and 2 guest appearances a year. One of them was the Arnold Classic, so I always had to do that. But I did that for a while, and so I started training with Guru a lot. And the way that Eric and I started seeing each other is it's embarrassing.
That's back around the time when Eric was traveling with Guru.
That is right. And Eric was traveling. He was gone and traveling a lot. So I didn't really see him that often at the Inasano Academy, because usually he taught a class, I think it was on Monday night. And hang on, Jiggy's getting ready to bark. Yeah. Hang on 1 second. Go on, Jiggy. Go on, Jiggy. Okay, sorry, I'm back.
I'm not cutting it out.
Come on. So, Eric was traveling a lot still. He did travel sometimes with Guru, but I think he was traveling a lot for himself, because he was always like in England or Scotland or somewhere. And there was always, I think his class was on Monday night. And there was always somebody covering his class. And so I didn't really get to see him a lot. And he was always like the resident badass, like nobody, like, scary Eric. And so,
yep.
When people were at the academy, especially me, I'd like walk by, because I didn't know what, I'd done jujitsu, I'd done judo at that point. But this was something like totally different. And, watching that, it was scary, because it's no gi. You don't know what's going on. And, and then you start to learn about who Eric is and what he did on his traveling. I'm sorry. Hold on. Shh. It's my Amazon packages.
It's so real. It's so how it is.
It just is. It is the way. And so,
he was already tight with Chad and Damon and Dave.
Yeah, that was way before. That was all by that time. Like Damon was around, but Chad, I think, had already started doing so much he wasn't at the academy often.
I know this is a sidetrack, but Chad wasn't his like original like big break into the movie stuff was when he doubled Brandon for the Crow. He finished. He did the stunts, right?
Eric was talking about that the other day, and I think so. I think that's the way it all happened.
I think that's why he didn't go to Japan with Eric, right? To fight in Shuto.
Yeah, because he was doing a bunch of that stuff. But
they needed him to do the big falls, like when you see him falling off that building. That's Chad.
Yeah. And then I started, that's another thing too, is that Eric was in, I think, Bloodsport.
What was it, 3 or 4?
Yeah, I think Bloodsport 3. And I remember being in Kentucky, and I'm like, oh my God, that guy's from the Asano Academy. I can't believe it. I can't believe I get to train with all these people. Oh my gosh. And then that made me not even want to talk to him anymore because I was too shy. And I was like,
they dubbed his voice. they dubbed his voice.
Well, also the bandana.
It's so bad.
Which is another funny thing is that Eric's mom, she's like, honey, out of all your fights, I like that one where you're in the blue gi with the bandana. I'm like, Mom, that's not a real fight.
No, Eric's awesome in it.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. But
oh, wait. So on that subject, he sent me something, and I think I'm allowed to use this for members. I got to make sure.
Okay.
He just sent me something, the raw reel of the Baywatch stuff.
Oh, that's in our garage. Like we're going through a bunch of
not anymore. It's right here. I have.
Oh my God!
I've already digitized it.
Oh, that's cool.
At it.
Well, we better check to make sure that we're allowed to use that.
We got to see if we're allowed to do anything with that. Maybe get a release or something because it's awesome.
I love that
Chad's in it.
Just laughing away. I don't know what are you laughing at?
He's laughing at this schizophrenic conversation we're having because this is how it always is. So we'll have to now. Let's bring it back to Eric. Meeting Eric.
Oh, Jimmy Crickets. Okay.
I took you down a rabbit hole, but now let's come back.
No, it's okay. So when we moved, because I started training when I first moved to California, Guru's school was on a different street. I think it's Lincoln. Is it Lincoln?
I never went to that school.
Okay, I went to the. It was a 1-level school, and so we moved to the new school where it is now, and they were.
Are you talking about the one by LAX?
Yeah.
Oh, I did go to that one.
Okay.
That's where he filmed all that stuff. Okay.
Yeah. And so I was training there for a really long while, and then when we moved to the new school, they had to do some of the collie classes upstairs. So Eric's class was downstairs, like on a matted area. And it's different now because of the way the mats are and stuff now, and the new mats. But there was kind of an area where Eric would train and there'd be something else going on. And then upstairs, there would be like the collie class or something like that, before the way it's all divided up now. And so I had to go past the mats to go upstairs to go do my class. And so I walked in and, like I said, Eric was traveling a lot. So it was hit or miss whether he was there or not. And when you would know, like when he was there, because everybody would be like talking, because like I said, here's Eric Paulson that does all this stuff. And he's just a cool dude at the gym. And so I kind of always, I trained a lot in the Thai boxing classes and all that stuff. And then I would go upstairs to do my collie class. And I don't remember who was teaching that day, but I went upstairs to go train. And Eric was standing by the stairwell, and I was like, oh, I have to go by him. I was like, I go, hello, how are you doing today, sir? Because I don't know what to say. I'm just, I was shy and I wanted to talk to him, but I was too nervous. And so I did that. And he just said, I'm doing okay or something, And I thought, when I go back downstairs, if he's there, I'm going to ask him out for coffee.
So Alan, how badass is Eric that Tonya wants to ask him for coffee? I'm just saying, how badass is that?
Oh my God, I've never asked a man out in my life.
It usually works the other way. So
my God, of course it does. What idiot does that?
Did you do it? Did you ask?
Yeah.
Him?
Well, so I go upstairs and I think, what am I thinking? Right? What am I thinking? Like I can't. And and I had been alone in California for a long time. And I had decided when I moved out here, I was just going to train, do my job. I adopted Puka, a little rescue dog that I had for a long time. Yeah. And it was just us for a long time because I wanted to completely disengage from any kind of distractions and just learn about myself, you know, because I'd never really been on my own ever. I didn't know, I didn't know how to write a check or do banking or, I was afraid all the time I was going to end up somewhere scary in LA, and my parents were afraid. I'm from Kentucky. Like I didn't, I didn't know how to do anything. California's huge and scary and all these people are cool. And I'm country bumpkin. I don't know how to do
Not anymore.
Oh my gosh. So I'm laughing at myself. So I remember I would get so scared. I'd like map out how to get there, and I'd take Puka with me in case I got lost and I didn't get home in time. And so we were at the academy a lot. By the way, Guru was afraid of Puka.
What?
I know, it's funny. He was always afraid she was going to bite him. But so I thought I'm going to ask him out. I'm going to ask him for coffee if he's downstairs, because I never see him, and I had been alone for so long. And then I was just, I was doing personal training. I was training with Guru. I was just trying to really focus on myself, learn how to do things, and become better. Cause I didn't know how to do anything, and I never really established myself. I wanted to learn who I was as a person, if I could do stuff, cause you're way stronger than you think you are. Once you're on your own and you realize you don't have anybody to take care of you, how are you going to establish a routine and figure yourself out? And so I just focused on training. I kept my head down. I worked a lot. And so I didn't go out. I didn't know how to go out with guys. Like I had prior to moving to California, I'd been married for 12 years. So I went literally from my parents' house to being married and not knowing anything, having someone always take care of stuff. And then you go and you don't know how to do anything. So once I got divorced and I moved from Kentucky and out here, it got real, really quick. You're like, how do you, how do you do your banking? How do you go, and so I literally found a little route, and I would drive directly to Guru's because I don't want to get lost, and directly back home. And I just kept my head down for 3 or 4 years. And so I didn't go out a lot. And then, so I thought, okay, if he's there, I'm going to, and then I was starting to get sweaty and nervous, and I thought, no, I'm not going to do it. And I thought, no, I'm tough. Like I've never done anything like this before, and I'm going to keep my word to myself, because that was a big thing to me, is to try to establish something and then actually do it, and accomplish things, which I don't know why, but I said, okay. So then he was there, and I was like, oh no, I'm not going to do it. And then I think I had flight or fight response. And I was like, okay, I have to go to the bathroom.
Oh, God.
So I went away and I went to the bathroom. And I was like, okay, if he's there when I go to the bathroom, then I'll ask. Because I was so nervous. And then I thought, what if he says no? I won't talk to you, little person.
Obviously didn't say no.
Obviously. Yeah, but I said, how are you? Like, what are you doing? And then I don't even remember how I made conversation because I was so nervous. I couldn't believe, like, I was nervous.
Hamana.
I know. And then I said, well, do you want to go get something to eat or go out? Like, do you want to grab a coffee or something? And I couldn't believe, like, it wasn't even connected in my brain that I had actually, it came out of my face.
Okay. So go back to that moment.
The Insano Academy out on a date.
Go back to that moment. Tell me.
Oh, I'm embarrassed to even
show us, for the people watching the video part of this, what was the look on his face when you said that?
Oh, he just was like smooth as could be. He was like, you can go out and grab coffee or something. There's a little Italian restaurant. I was like, oh.
He played it off. He played it off that easy.
I know. He's like, there's a little Italian restaurant. And then I was like, we can't tell anybody here. I can't believe this. What are we going to do? What if Guru finds out? I was a nervous wreck.
Yeah, that's typically frowned upon.
Yeah, I know. You don't do that. Definitely not. And so I can't even, like, thinking back on it, like all the chain of events that happened, I can't believe it even happened. And then
What year was that, do you think? What year?
Like 2004 or 5. 2005.
No, it wasn't 4. Because that's when 2004 is when you called me.
So it had to be 2002 or 3.
That had to be.
2003.
Had to be.
Oh my gosh.
Because they were still at the other school in 2001.
Okay, so then it was very early on then when they moved to the new place.
Okay.
And that's when he was by the. So what do you think? Like 2000, late? It had to be late 2003, maybe.
2 or 3, yeah.
And
that's awesome. I never heard that.
So embarrassing. And so for a while, because I was afraid Guru was going to get mad at both of us, you know, I was like, we can't say a word. So he would sneak around and drive up to the academy, and I'd run across like I was going to my car, and we told nobody. And then it became too much because we casually saw each other for a while, and then I started to get nosy because I'm pretty pushy sometimes. And
Wait a minute.
Oh my gosh.
Little wallflower.
I thought, well, what, Alan?
I don't want to be pushy.
Oh my gosh. I thought, I want to see, like, this man, you know, once you, because Eric's a jokester. He's funny. You know, he's never like, you don't imagine all these serious things happening in his brain because he's, you know, he's training all the time and he knows way more than you ever could possibly imagine about martial arts. And it's casual to him. Like, it's just like that's the way his brain works, you know? And so
genius.
Yeah, he knows. It's amazing to me. Like for me, now that we've been married for so long, 10 years this year, which is amazing to me when I think about everything. I try to look at him from an outside perspective. You know, still as a student, I still try to look at him, you know, not all the time as my husband, or that I'm doing his laundry, or like, we're cooking dinner or whatever. I try to look at him as, it is amazing to me how much he knows and how amazing he is. Like, as far as martial arts goes, he's just,
Well, thanks a lot. I really appreciate it.
You're not supposed to hear any of this.
What do you know? You're going to get a guest appearance.
I heard some compliments being dished out.
He photobombed your podcast.
I even had the door closed. He somehow got in the door.
This is strangely very appropriate because the first one we did, you did that to him.
I did?
Yeah. You were still in your condo.
Oh my God. Thank God. Okay. Bless that condo. Thank God. But I'm so happy to have a house now.
That was perfect.
Oh my gosh. So you guys made me lose my train of thought.
You were talking about how much martial arts Eric knows.
And so I always try to look at him from outside perspective and realize that, how much he knows, how big of a deal he is in the martial arts community. Sometimes you lose track of that when you're married to someone and you're close to someone. You don't think about, and I think that's why a lot of stuff with marriages, like, you don't realize, how important the other person is as an individual. Sometimes you lose track of that because you get so caught up day to day, and so I always try to make sure that I think about that I realize who he is. It's not just us in day-to-day stuff and, all the stuff with the school. I value him as a person and who he is individually, aside from the two of us, but so the whole point of that is that, plus, if he doesn't train, he's not very nice sometimes. He's still got that.
We're all like that.
Yeah, he's definitely still got the instinct. So, I hear this a lot from the guys, that Eric trains, is that, oh, my wife doesn't want me here this day, or my wife doesn't want that. Oh, here he comes again, you guys.
Can't wait to get the MMA curriculum shot after the camp.
A little bit of business. We're doing a little bit of business. No, that was just a preview. That was a teaser.
I'm working on the combat athletics program. It's almost done. It's gymnastics and strength exercises, partner strength exercises, and movements.
Can you guys tell he just woke up?
That help.
This man sleeps till
no,
10.
It's not true. that actually helps every martial arts athlete.
Ow! Ow!
How you guys doing today?
Doing
Doing
good.
good, Coach.
Good.
What's going on?
I woke up. I got
And what?
my throat and my lungs. I went to the emergency room.
Sick. Yeah.
What do you got?
I don't know. It's kind of going around, I guess.
A lot of people out here are sick. I think it's just the allergies.
You getting smoke coming down from those fires?
Not down here.
Is that too far away?
Smoke was coming out of Tonya's bong last night.
No! Delete.
No, sorry.
I'm not cutting that out.
I don't have a bong.
She doesn't smoke.
Amen.
It's legal where you are.
Stop. Oh my God. No, when he travels a lot, we just got back from Australia, and when he's doing a lot of talking and stuff and the climate change, because it's winter there for them and it's cold and people are sick. And he doesn't really stay away from people because when they're sick, he wants to try to engage everybody. So I think he picked something up while we were there.
He's a grappler. He runs all over everybody. Of course.
Oh my God, he just ran all over me in my podcast.
That's pretty much how it always is, though.
Oh my gosh.
So a little history lesson there. You've gotten right up to the time period when you and I bumped heads.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
That was because I'd done videos for him in 2000 and 2001. I met him it was probably around 93. He did a seminar in Maryland came out here for Pat Finley, and he did a seminar for Mike Kripke. And I was there at that. That was when Daryl kneed himself in the face. Remember that? he tells that story all the time.
All the time, I remember.
He ruined Eric's demo because he put he had long hair back then, and he put the plum on Daryl, and he goes, "If you pull their head down like this, they can't even lift their knee." And he goes, "Go ahead and try." And Daryl kneed himself square in the face.
Oh,
like,
it's terrible.
Gonna have to change that demo. But anyway, 2004, I had just moved into this house and didn't even have everything set up yet. And I get this call from random person, Tonya, and I'm like, I don't know who you are.
Please help me. Please, I need you. Eric is chaos on wheels, but with guided direction. Like, he has so much information and so many things, and people don't, as somebody that's trying to date him, I realized the potential he had, but it was just unharnessed. And I finally scraped and clawed until I got your phone number.
Well, let me tell you, that was the beginning of the team. And oh my God, Tonya Paulson is such a key piece of that. It doesn't work without Tonya Paulson. So we're very grateful that you're here.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Alan Baker was the final piece to come together for our little band.
I didn't know about
We
Alan.
needed a janitor.
So
clean up crew.
we got the genius, John Lennon. That's Eric, and then Tonya. You're definitely not Yoko. No, you're awesome. And then you got the techie, and then you had the visionary come on. It worked out perfect.
I was afraid because I had worked so hard with you to get things organized and have some structure and get Eric's seminar schedule.
For years.
For
years of that.
Simo Paula helped me with that. She told me how to handle seminar bookings and all that stuff. And then when Alan was just a person who had booked a seminar with Eric. I didn't really know Alan that well.
He's been around a little while too.
Yeah, of course. But I trusted the fact that he was, with Guru, and that he knew Sifu Fong, and that he was a martial artist, and I trusted the process. And so Alan, when I first met him, he was just a school owner that had booked a seminar, and he approached me with a little idea, And I was like, yeah, okay. And then, yeah, thank you. And then, hey, stop it.
You got that resistance big time from me.
And then, I talked to you about it, and you were like, well, I don't know. We finally got things chumming along. But I don't know. And I said, just talk to this guy. But Alan approached me a couple of times, though, before I thought this might actually work.
I wasn't buying it. I was like, oh, here comes a guy full of crap. Here's another one. He's full of crap. He's going to, try to take advantage of Eric, blah, blah, blah. And surprise, this was one of your cool moves.
No, it's one of the best things that's ever happened to us, Alan. Thank you.
This is where I knew you were slick, is on the flight coming out to see you. I'm sitting there. I'm sitting in my seat, and this dude's sitting next to me. I had no idea. He starts pulling stuff out, and it's got the right logos on it. I'm like, who the hell is this guy? I'm like, do you train? It was Alan Baker. You put us on the plane and the seats next to each other.
Oh, I didn't
even know it.
What?
I was like,
oh, you knew it because you said you planned it that way.
I was like, that girl's got game. I didn't even know.
I could game all day long, baby.
So you knew we had to sit together on a flight for 6 hours to get out there.
Connect, because you didn't want anybody.
Well, I was being a little bit dicky about it because
no, not you.
You got to put the shields up, man. You got to put the shields up a little bit because it's a little rough out there.
Well, I mean, yeah, but now look at us.
Well,
look at us now.
Well, we're the constant project, that's always in work. But I love it because it's such a unique mix. But everybody has that thing.
Their lane. Yeah, everybody has their lane.
Yeah, it's that thing that makes it work.
I haven't really figured out what my lane is. What is my lane?
Believe me, such a key piece. It just doesn't work.
Alan, what is my lane?
You're the handler.
Yeah, Alan calls her the handler.
The handler. Oh my God.
I don't know if Eric would like that too much.
With all due respect.
Hey, I like it. That's right. That's because I get shit done.
You only get to handle.
Oh my God.
You only get to handle him as much as he wants to be handled.
Oh,
Smash.
that's a lot. Oh my gosh, you guys are funny. Well, I'm excited to see you guys. I'm glad I did this. This is good.
Are you bailing out on us?
No, I'm not bailing on you.
We haven't even gotten into Alan's list of questions for you yet.
God, what you got?
Oh, you've hit them. I mean,
I did?
I was going to ask about traveling.
All natural.
About you guys go to Australia every year, Scotland and the UK. I was going to ask about traveling. Talk to me about it. What happens?
Well, Eric. Oh boy. Are we recording still?
There's no edits involved.
We're
getting all of this.
Okay. So, Eric, I figured out over the years, because I used to get really frustrated with his time management. Okay,
time management.
But listen, you guys, listen. I have figured out Eric is such a kind heart. Oh, yeah. And it took me a very long time to figure this out because my immediate response is to get irritated. But as you get older and wiser, you realize things. And I realized, like, early on, Eric makes promises to so many people and he tries to uphold them. Like, he tries to, do stuff for people and he makes commitments so much that sometimes he overcommits himself. So when I first started helping him with stuff and talking to Simo Paula, one of our bets is that I couldn't book him solidly for a year. And I did it within 3 or 4 days just by calling and saying, I'm helping Eric with this stuff. I'm doing this. And Simo Paula helped me with that. And she helped me learn how to call and talk to people and how to book seminars and how while you're there to immediately rebook and establish a guideline and a way for people to have faith in the process and know that, they have an instructor who has a standing commitment that's going to see them every year. at this certain time, so they can develop a way to. Sorry for that noise, you guys. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry, I have the window open. So that they know that they can have faith that they're going to see their instructor every year. It's going to be at the same time. And she helped me with that to figure out how to do the bookings. And so I don't think Eric ever had really had that before, had a solid commitment. And, because he would just book, he'd go about doing, he'd go about doing his next thing. And so it took a few years to do that. But then I started to see the massive potential of it all, and how things could really come together. And he was constantly writing notes. He was always writing down stuff. He would wake up and he'd write down notes, and that's sort of the way student levels 1 through 5 came together, because I put a booklet together, the first ever.
I remember that. It was good.
Before the World Conference was called the World Conference, it was called, thanks, Alan, it was just a CSW camp, and I said to Eric, I'm going to help you. That was my first big thing that I helped Eric with. And Tonya Paulson said, you gotta do this, and this. And people were blown away that he had all these products done, had all these things with his clothing, his table. It was organized. He was, structured. And all I had to do was get him to where he needed to be on time without distraction. So he showed up on time. He was doing what he's supposed to. Because he overcommits, and so he's scattered, and he doesn't write stuff down, as far as where he's supposed to be when. He doesn't have a schedule book. He has 5 million martial art notes that he's written down, but he doesn't have one schedule book.
I know.
And so he would forget stuff. And it's simply that, is that he was overcommitted. He was trying to keep promises, and he would forget stuff. And so I did that camp, and I realized from that, because I think we made we didn't have a lot of money back then because things were still crazy, and he wasn't doing as much as he is now, and how it could be to what it's developed to. And I made these booklets that are like these little work booklets that just had like quotes and phrases and stuff in them. And I think we made like 20 or 30, and they were gone before I could even get them out of the box. People were grabbing them. And that made me realize that, they want guided material. They want information, and they want something that they can hold on to, that they can. And then I realized who I was actually dealing with, that like a lot of these guys own schools. They're trying to be instructors. They're trying to have the same dream that Eric has. And how could you, how much better could you do that? So I went and made more, and I sold all those. And I thought, remember I talked to you about that, Bob? And I was like, we got to do something, like figure out stuff. And that's when we somehow managed to put together the student levels.
That was like reverse engineering a genius on the floor.
100%. But we had something. We finally had something, because there was so much potential.
Oh yeah.
And there's even so much potential for more now that we have Alan.
It's just now, right now.
The chaos. Yeah.
Right now coming online, like everything has lined up, and the things we've been working on for the last 5 years.
Finally, everything's coming to
aligning. Now we've been working on it together since 2004.
For 492 years.
Yeah. Well, the initial, like I said, the initial videos I did for him were 18 years ago.
I know.
And that was how we started working together. But right before that, he had done that series, the Killer series and stuff. He did those himself.
Listen, I know. He was actually telling me a story the other day about being in Minnesota, and he had been with Gur at a seminar, and he was making it's amazing to me how tenacious he is. He did a cut and paste thing of his video and went to like a Kiko's or somewhere. I don't even know if there was a Kiko's back then. And he like glued everything together and made his cover, and then copied them and then figured out how to get DVDs and stuff. And that's, I mean, that takes a lot of tenacity to do stuff like that. And so
he still does stuff like that.
Well, I know, but what I'm saying is for somebody like Eric to do that kind of thing, that shows you
very creative.
Yeah, his mind. And so that mind just has to be guided, because everything that comes out of it is too much for a normal person to handle.
Well, that was
So much stuff.
that was bringing me back to my other point, which is why, to us, like it's as clear as day why the team is so valuable. And Alan and I were just doing work before you got home. We were working on the website a little bit.
Of course you were.
I really value because I technically can put stuff together, and it's the old engineer problem versus an artist. Well, yeah. I've got a little bit of both going, but I get so wrapped up into building it. Sometimes you need that pair of eyes to look at it.
Yeah.
Like the step back and go, it should be this. The colors should be this. I should feel this way. Well, that guy is on the team now. So, and how long you been officially part of the team, Alan? It's like 6 years, right? He was off reading something else just now.
Blink of an eye.
Has it been? How long has it been? Like 8 years? Has it been that long?
At least 6 months.
Seems like yesterday.
He's such a dude.
You got to hit the ground running with this group, otherwise you get left in the dust.
When was that? When did you bring him on board? Was it 2000?
No, he ran circles around, like not knowing what was going on for like the first 2 years.
I don't remember. Yeah, the chaos.
Playing catch up.
But what's cool is though, when it comes to the point with developing curriculum and all that kind of stuff, and it's starting to filter in, some things going on at the school, that all that's coming online. Yeah. So it's pretty cool to see everything starting to line up
together. I like your word the other day, Bob. Ecosystem.
That's what it is. Like it's no longer this thing, that thing. It's literally the CSW ecosystem.
Mm.
Yeah, and I love that.
It goes from public, non-involved, all the way into professional.
Yeah, I love that.
And there's a track for each thing all the way along the way.
Mm-hmm. Getting more and more clear too.
And that's
really
what
starting to come into focus.
Yeah, we're hammering on it like every single day, and that's something people need to know too. We're not doing this part time. This is all we do.
All we do. Yeah. I think it's crazy to me when I see people they want to run an association or they want to do what Eric does, and people ask me all the time, or they try to start something. I don't think they realize. And for me, it's about quality and also about, when you see people, of course, they're like, some of them are like your family, some of them you don't know. And the bigger we grow, obviously people, we don't know them, and when they come on board, you learn about people, but it's about, quality, giving a good, honest product, and customer service. Like I never want a person to feel like they can't come into contact with us and really for us to care about them. So in order to do that, you have to be 24/7 all the time. I sometimes like when we were in Australia, and I leave my phone on and it's ding, 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 ding. Now it's silent, but it's with me just in case somebody messages me. It's 24/7, and you have to get, I like, and one of the things that people say about us all the time, like I hear about you, I hear about Alan, I hear about everything, is that, oh, maybe it's not on silent.
Jinx.
I think it's media or something, I don't know. But it's, wait, I'll turn it down. It's about when I go out, I love hearing, I just turned it down, you guys. When I hear people say, I messaged either Alan or Bob, and they got back to me the same day, and they're so impressed with that. And
Alan's better at that than I am. I'm not as good as he is, but I'm working on that.
Well, the thing is that, we're all a work in progress. Like it's always something that's going to be better, and things make you realize that you've got to up your game and you've got to do stuff and that things, everything's 24/7 and evolving, and you have to figure things out. And I love, even a positive or a negative comment, I love it because no matter what you do, you grow from that. And so, I like to be available. So I hear from people, and I know what's going on. And I love that we give a good, honest product and we listen to things. And I honestly, when somebody says something, I review it and I think, well, could we do this better? you know, what, and you address things with people. And as long as you commit to that, you grow and the organization grows and you grow together, you know, and you become like this big organized family that has all this stuff. And you know, if it weren't for Alan, you know, and I joke around all the time, but Alan, if it weren't for you, all this stuff wouldn't have come to fruition as much as it has. So I really appreciate you guys.
That is very true. You know,
Bob's my ride or die that's been with me forever, but so are you. Like he was with me from the beginning. You know,
I say the same thing though, because it didn't line up till you had that right guy.
You were the right piece, Alan. So
it was that fourth piece that we needed.
I finally trust you.
Hey, were you recording?
Hey, brother, that one ain't easy to get.
I want to make a ringtone out of that or something.
That one's not easy to get.
No, it's not, because I do not take that lightly. There's literally on my hand I can count that I say that, because I'm just not a person that trusts easily. So once you're in the box with me, you're in the box. And then you never get out.
I know. No. We're hamsters in the wheel.
That's right. Don't forget, I could text you at 3 a.m. and say, Alan.
It's happened. You've texted me and said, Alan.
Spain needs you ASAP.
It happens.
I'm sleeping.
I can't tell you how many times I'll be in the middle of a conversation or even on the mat and the phone will go off and I'll look over at it. My students know now. All I have to do is go like this and your name will be there and they'll be like, okay.
See, I love to hear that.
Oh yeah.
Don't make me call you right now.
That happens to me. I'm at dinner and whatever. It's like,
I know. I feel bad. I called on your birthday, and I'm getting ready to go. Alan, he's getting ready to go out on his birthday, and he's like, "My family's here," and I'm like, "Okay, just one more thing."
You got me in trouble that night because my mother showed up as a surprise, and my sisters to go out to dinner. And I should have my workout was then, and my sister was already hiding in the other room. I didn't even know. And I look out the window, and I'm like, hey, honey, my mother's here, and my sister's. And that was supposed to be part of the surprise.
Janet's like, get off the phone.
Well, she said some bad words. She's like, do what you're told. I'm like, oh, man. I'm like, well, Tonya had me on the phone. She kept me on the phone a little longer. She just kept talking.
Like, that's my girl.
She was
no, here he comes away. He's got toothpaste all over his
It's not toothpaste, it's coffee.
Oh, my God.
Hey, what do you think about having Mark McFan on a podcast?
Whoa.
I just talked to him yesterday.
That's cool.
Would you want to come on with us?
What's that?
Would you want to come on with us? And would you be on the show with us as well?
Sure, I could. Mark's funny.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
He trained me, and he's been around for years. He's a senior. He's a senior instructor under Guru.
You guys see the coffee right there? It's right there. It's right there. There we go.
Yeah. A little bit of coconut oil.
Yeah.
But that's it. But yeah, I was thinking maybe Mark McFan would be kind of cool to have.
Oh, that's cool.
I think it's time to have another co-host of Coach Eric Paulson on with us.
Oh yeah. Well, he's co-hosting right now, obviously.
I love that he's bombing your photo bombing.
Like I said, my mom said there can only be one star. That's the rock star right there. Yeah.
And I got to teach all day, so.
He's got private lessons at noon today.
If you guys ever get a chance, you should try to get one.
Oh no! Don't do it! I'm sorry.
Tuner.
These things you put them on your forehead. And they clear your third eye. Watch this. So they'll clear her.
Oh no, Oh, okay. Do you hear that? This is some crazy. Ow!
It just made a click. That means it opened. Now she can tap into the universe.
So for everybody listening to the audio on this, they're going to have no idea what happened if they're
Did
the
you hear
audio.
that?
Go watch the video.
That was crazy. It was like have you heard those? Okay, what are you doing?
I'm leaving every bit of this in because this is what it's
like.
Holy
stop.
shit.
This is what it's like.
You guys don't want me to yell at him, do you? Because I'm getting ready to.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's about to get real.
It's about to get real. Oh, and he's gone.
Smash.
I'm crying. Oh no!
Hey, if you guys have acid reflux, this thing is called the wooden egg. You should try to
What
purchase
are
one.
you doing? This is my
This thing goes
podcast.
right here, and then you strip.
Okay, this is my moment to
It gets rid of
shine.
a hiatal hernia. Hiatal hernia. So if you have acid reflux, these things are.
I'm getting beaten out by a wooden egg. Come on, you guys.
No. Read that. Read what it says.
Oh my God.
What's happening right now?
That's the company that sells them. You can get them. They're
Oh
like
my
15 bucks. Watch this.
No, don't do it to me. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Be careful. There might be some things I have to cut out now. I wanted to just release this.
Oh my God. I got beaten out by the tuning fork and the wooden egg. Oh God.
Somebody's awake and good to go. Somebody's awake and good to go.
Oh my gosh. I think he's high on cold medicine. Oh no, he shut the door. I'm gonna lock it. Jeez. That was so funny.
Awesome. Is there any other business besides the craziness that we need to handle, Mr. Baker? 'Cause
Alan Baker.
We've had Miss Tonya on for quite a bit.
How long? Oh my gosh. Whoa. You got way more out of me than I thought I was going to give you.
I told you you'd be awesome at it.
All right. Well, during the cast, you talked about the headquarters, and you mentioned people coming out to do seminars with Coach. If there's somebody out there listening that would like to do that, come in for like a private lesson or to just train at the school, who do they get in touch with? And how would they do that? So how do they do that? Email? Do they just call the school?
No, Tonya Paulson 1@gmail.com is my email. And you can always get in touch with me on my Facebook, Tonya Paulson, or my Instagram. I can always get back to you. I like to do everything for seminars or anything with the school. I like to do it via email. Or you can also call the school for anything related to the school. You can do that. CSWFullerton.com is our website, and it's up and running. Bob's helping with all of that. It's going to be updated daily. What are you smiling at again?
We just spent an hour working on it, so that's just cool.
I know you guys are awesome. You don't know how much I appreciate you guys. I really, really do appreciate you guys. And I love that everything's so organized and I don't have to yell to get things done, and it looks amazing. So CSWFullerton.com is our website for the school. So if you need information for that, you can go there for CSW headquarters here it's in Fullerton, California. Mm-hmm. If you want to reach out for seminars or for private lessons or anything like that related to Eric and booking him, that's obviously me. I'm the only one that does that. And other than that, for association stuff, everybody knows that they got to contact you or Bob, and that's the way things run around here.
And that website is ericpaulson.com.
We have some new, a couple new designs Kev's working on. I gave him a couple new drawings of some cool stuff.
Are you doing shirts?
Yeah, just like front circle. It's almost like a yin and yang, but it's a CSW. And then I'm going to steal all the Junfan Jikundo calligraphy around the outside. I'm just kidding. But they'll be good for like muscle tees that most people wear. All the young guys do. Old guys don't wear muscle. I could see Alan wearing a tight muscle tee.
Those gibbon arms.
I could see Bob showing off them.
Those tattoos. Wait, is it only one tattoo?
And the new shoulders. He's hitting the heavy bag so much he's turned his shoulders into boulders.
I just lost 6 pounds, I'll have you know.
Oh, that's good.
What? How do you do that?
I just stopped eating sugar.
Oh, yeah. Get rid of the whites.
Are you jonesing for some sugar still? Or
I'm so jonesing for sugar so bad.
Anyway, if you're jonesing for sugar, take some colloidal minerals. It really
it's mineral deficiency.
It cuts all the sugar cravings. I know, because every time I used to cut for fights, I would be craving sugar, and then I realized it was the.
And then he'd eat a donut, and he'd be fine.
The colloidal minerals. Colloidal minerals.
I love chocolate. Oh no, you didn't.
God save the queen.
Colloidal minerals. Yeah, so liquid colloidals. That company, they're called Holographic Health.
What are you doing?
No, they have a good. I don't make any money with those guys. They have a great colloidal mineral supplement. It's $15, and you put it in your water every day. It really helps. If you cramp, like if you're gonna go cramp and get rid of a bunch of salt out of your body,
I feel dizzy.
you take the colloidal minerals, and it immediately stops you from
It's his
cramping.
aura. You know, he's been meditating this morning, and his presence is just like
Clearing and grounding.
makes me dizzy.
I'll see you guys in a week.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Looking forward to it.
We're out of
We'll see you
here.
at RevGear, the RevGear University.
Yep.
It's going to be good with Guru, Ajan, Sifu
We're
Farm.
going to see you, Alan, next week, and then we're going to see both of you
And
the
then we
week
have the
after,
CDP
and
right
our
after. It's
CDP.
gonna be good. And we got the filming for
Fun
the
and festivities.
MMA, right?
And
Right.
jiu-jitsu too, right?
And Rick Young.
You guys.
Rick Young's coming
Oh,
in.
yeah.
So,
Sign in.
so we've got some really good new stuff coming up with him doing a lot of the combat judo stuff that he does. And then obviously the jiu-jitsu that he got from his teacher. And
On a serious note, you guys, because this is all fun and games at this point, Rick is working on a lot of stuff. So is Eric. It's going to be in the store later next year.
yeah.
Yep.
And Rick is, a lot of people know him in the UK, but he is a rock star.
You guys
he has
need
so
to
much
add,
good.
you need to add Rick
I don't know
Young
where he's talking. He's like over
to,
here
you
somewhere.
got to use Rick Young's information with his arm attacks and add it to your jiu-jitsu game, and it'll change it.
I
Along
don't
with
know
the
what he's
catch
doing.
wrestling, with the catch wrestling into the Brazilian jiu-jitsu game to create an animal that doesn't even exist yet.
Oh my God. Okay,
That was
back to the
perfect.
serious note. A lot of people know Rick Young in the UK, but here they don't know him so well. So we're going to rework some of the old stuff. He's got to go because he's got his appointment.
I love that guy.
Oh my gosh. So we're going to really do some stuff with Rick, make sure that he's going to become more of a part of the association. And we've been working on that for years. He's camera shy sometimes, but
Once he gets going, he's
once
amazing.
he goes, yeah, he's awesome and he's organized. He has he's like Eric, and you know he comes from the Gur's lineage too, and he's just amazing. So we got a lot of good stuff coming down the pipe in the next year.
Rick is
Yep.
very, very technical.
The store will be growing tremendously in the future. Like we do 3 coach camps a year, and we have 2 media days after every camp where we record this information. So we'll gradually start seeing more and more downloads in the store from these guys. And we've got a lot more lined up too that we're not talking about now. So you'll
That's
just have to
right.
keep an eye on that store. It's just going to be a tremendous outlet of information in the future.
And it's going to be a lot of stuff. It's not just from Eric, but people that we know that have good quality information. It's going to be a platform for people to get their information out, because I don't want, Eric's, and I know I've kept you guys on here a long time, but Eric is the type of person that is open-minded. So he's not afraid. I think sometimes martial art instructors are afraid of exposing their students to a ton of different stuff. He's bringing my Amazon packages in.
Look, what's what I got?
Oh my gosh. Metal detecting. That's what he got.
I got some metal detector stuff. I'm going to go find some lost treasures.
Oh my gosh.
Uh,
I've been wanting to metal detect for years. Speaking of the UK, he's trying to take this thing to the UK next year so he can go metal detecting. Richie
probably
Welsh.
I'll get arrested for finding all the Roman coins.
Richie Welsh, I'll blame you if that happens. Just I hope you listen to this podcast.
What they do is they you can hunt for them, you just can't keep them.
Okay, I gotta let these guys go, so I gotta say one more thing. So I want the store, Alan and all of us have talked about the store being a platform for people, because Eric, like I said, he exposes people to all kinds of different stuff, and he's not afraid to do that. So I want to carry that on in the process.
Dragon door.
Yeah. So I want to have I don't even know what that is, but
there's a couple of, I won't get into too many, take you down the specifics rabbit hole, but one area that's really been neglected is the clothing line. And we need to start looking at that because
Amen.
What's that?
he said amen.
That's why I got these 2 new shirt designs, and we got to get the other ones all made up.
Yeah, we, Eric.
We're still recording.
Oh, by the way, when I saw Guru Dan a few weeks ago at Pat Trey's, he was all over this shirt. He really wants one.
Oh,
Well, I'll make sure he gets one in the next couple weeks.
hey, Bob,
Kevin, for doing our leaflets for us for the school.
hey, Bob, I asked Pat so bad when I was there last. It was his
Wait.
It was his birthday.
Okay, stop recording. I'm going to say bye for the public.
Wait.
Wait, okay.
A great gift for somebody when you mess up a little bit is a Damascus buck knife.
Okay, Alan, what were you going to say?
All right, hold on a second. What I'm doing is getting ready to take a screenshot because I'm going to market this. So, yeah, give me a thumbs up, guys.
Got Coach in it.
Perfect.
Okay, now quit recording.
I'm not going to quit recording.
We got one last thing. We got to put out anything you want to step up your game.
I'm afraid of what's going to happen. That's why I said
all you have to do is add alcohol. So we're going to talk about the one night.
how do you know this isn't vodka? This is Avion.
Just kidding, because none of us want that information out there.
I'm just
I'm
kidding.
going panning for gold.
Only kidding.
I got my gold panners. Next time you come here, bring your wading boots. We're going to go to one of the local riverbeds, and we're going to pan for
I
some
can't
gold.
take any more of this. We are cutting. We're done. What were you going to say, Alan? Last thing.
That was it.
Okay.
Okay, quit recording so we can
All
talk.
right. So, legendary first podcast, official podcast with Tonya Paulson.
That's
Guest
right.
appearance
The
by Eric
first
Paulson.
of many.
The Smash Cast.
The Smash Cast, #1 in the books.
Smash.
Smash.
That's right.
Oh my God. Thank you guys so much. I'm sorry it took so long.